foe for Michael to face every week. What is the most challenging part of creating a formidable foe for Michael to face every week?
Making him as smart and funny as Michael is, I think. And we've been really, really lucky. We've put on paper some really great villains, some really great foes, and people that we just thought shined on paper with what they did and how they spoke. And some of the people here, including yourself, really filled in those roles quite nicely. And you know, I think Burn Notice is one of those shows that I think Matt and Ray and Bruce and anybody who's worked on the show is truly a collaboration. And those characters don't really come to life until you come on the set. And we've been incredibly lucky, but it's really, you know, like I said, finding somebody who's equally smart and funny, and we've found those actors. So,
cool. Awesome. On that subject, Jay Carnes, Brennan always gives Michael a run for his money in their spy versus spy type battles. What is it that makes Brennan such a formidable foe?
Can I just first say, I think we should spend this time just asking Bruce questions. It's like watching a rock star work the crowd. It's unbelievable. It's like a comic and a rock star doing both.
You know, I'm going to talk about Evil Dead next question, so.
I'm sorry. What was the question? What makes Brennan a great villain? When Matt was first explaining this character to me, he said that the unique thing about Brennan, and it was, I believe, the first villain that fit this bill, he doesn't believe anything Michael Weston says to him. When Weston's telling him the truth, he doesn't believe it. Yes? And that even when he's maneuvered into a position where he can't do anything, Weston's got him and he's got to do what Weston wants him to, he still knows he's being played. And that makes him a formidable villain, and you sort of know, oh, next time he's going to up his game a little bit and come back and give Weston a hard time. Although, my pitch, and we've talked about this a little bit, is Brennan coming back as the client rather than the villain. I don't know if that works or not. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Ben Shankman. I haven't seen this bit yet because I live in Canada and I can't watch it for free on the internet, so tell us a little more about Strickler. He seems like he's a shady character, so give us a little more insight that you can without Matt killing you about Strickler.
Because I think Strickler's just come on, probably, right? The last week was the first one, so we haven't seen too much. But Matt said that one of the things that, when we were talking about the character, he said that one of the things that he enjoyed about Michael is that he was always able to smooth talk people into doing things that weren't really necessarily in their best interest and make it sound perfectly reasonable. And so that he thought it would be great to have a character that did that to Michael. And so without saying too much more, I think that's one of the things that is going on between Strickler and Michael, is that he's a guy who has what on paper sounds like a kind of win-win, perfectly reasonable sounding proposal for our hero. And then, of course, the plot thickens.
Cool. And last but not least, Seth Peterson. How has Michael and Nate's relationship grown since the start of the series, and how does that change your approach to playing Nate, the ne'er-do-well brother?
Well, you know, what hasn't grown is my facial hair. I think that's been the number one key in turning the character around for me. I remember when after the show first aired, I went and took a look at the notice board at USA, and they were like, I hate that guy.
What is with the goatee?
And man, I got a lot of hate from that. So, you know, my next time in, maybe it was a couple episodes later, Michael says to Nate, "You shaved the ferret off your face," and I have a feeling that that had a lot to do with the progression of the love, you know? I mean, it's helped me. I feel much better. I feel much lighter. For sure.
Sweet candy. Okay, before we take the audience, if you guys, these are some internet questions. We all know how good those are. If everybody that has a question from the audience wants to do the lineup in the lineup place, which I believe is right here. Is it just right there? Just right there. Okay, good. Make them good. There's 4,200 plus people here. Don't be asking people what they like to eat after work or anything nutsy like that. Here's some internet questions for members of the panel. This is from Dee in Pasadena, California. She asks, Bruce Campbell, if the writers could give you... First there's a statement from Bruce, and then we'll have a question.
There is a brief statement. I would like to make a brief statement. My good friend Matt Nix and I have had a very serious discussion because people will not stop asking about another Evil Dead movie. Matt has agreed to write a spy horror combo bladder. Dead Notice. He's assured me that he will do it, and we'll be back at Comic-Con to promote it. Yes, sorry, I digress.
Bruce, if the writers could give Sam Axe any cover ID you wanted, what would that be?
A normal person who isn't hounded by morons all day long. No, that's a silly question. Silly answer. Well, they started doing it with Chuck Finley. My alter ego is Chuck or Charles Finley. Why, I have no idea. But it's an easy name to remember. My dad actually had a friend named Chuck Finley. So there was a very strange parallel universe intersection that took place there. My dad knows a guy named Chuck Finley, and my side is Chuck Finley.